This is Edgerly, Louisiana, right outside of Vinton in the southwest corner of the Bayou State. Here you'll find a pair of cemeteries ducked off into the woods on a gravel road. There are plenty of eerie stories surrounding the Big Woods and Antioch cemeteries. But first, if you go to patreon.com/LouisianaDread and subscribe, you'll gain access to countless hours of exclusive content about other Louisiana horror stories similar to this one. Antioch Cemetery seems to be the newer of the two, but a guy named James W. Bryan donated 14 acres of land to develop the Big Woods Cemetery in 1827. It would take a decade or so for the grave plots to acquire the deceased locals, with the first gravestone said to be dated in 1844. But some have said there were people buried in the area as early as the late 1700s. Now, with Native Americans of the Tacopa tribe living in this area for hundreds of years, you can bet it's even older than that. Big Woods even has a celebrity buried here in Hall of Fame pitcher Ted Lyons being laid to rest in 1986. However, since the first gravestone was placed, ghostly sightings have been reported in abundance. Locals have shared several unsettling stories about ghostly orbs floating around the cemetery. Even the infamous Fifoye is said to lurk in the woods and swampy areas surrounding Edgerly. Many of the souls that later rest here just can't seem to get any actual rest in the afterlife. Visitors have reportedly heard disembodied voices, and more orbs appear in photographs and videos. There used to be a gate between the two cemeteries, but now there's just a path with a sign that reads, "Beware of children." Legend says that if you see a shadow across the path with no apparent source, that it's a warning not to cross into the other graveyard. Supposedly, people who have not heeded the warning have walked into Antioch Cemetery and never returned. The most famous spirit resides in the Big Woods Cemetery, and it's simply known as the Gatekeeper. Many people here believe this is a singular superior apparition that roams the grounds of the cemetery. The legend says, though, that the Gatekeeper is a brightly lit mist that floats around during the night. Locals claim that people who have encountered the Gatekeeper explain that they have a sense of uneasiness and dread, Louisiana dread, just when they spot him. Some people who claim to have seen the Gatekeeper say that as they're leaving, their car engine fails to start, which adds to the intense fear, which is why we're not letting ours go too far out the way. The most common spirit to haunt this ground is the dark shadow of a man pacing somewhere near the main gate of the cemetery. One first-hand account says that they were chased away from the property after seeing him by someone or something in a dark, antique-looking truck that seemed to not want them entering the cemetery at all. It chased these people the entire length of the road, only to disappear into thin air once they left the property. The ghost of a young girl has also been seen walking and crying on the far corner of the cemetery. Once you see her, it's only a matter of time before you see the other one. A paranormal sighting was reported of a woman in a black robe with bright red hair and a devilish smile walking in the direction of the young girl and then towards a large headstone before disappearing into the night. She doesn't seem to be the polite and friendly kind of spirit we'd all like to encounter. Even ectoplasm was found on some of these gravestones. Well, we hope it was. If you intend to visit such a haunted location, please keep in mind that it closes at dusk and it's illegal to enter the cemeteries after hours. But above all else, please be respectful of the locals, whether they're alive or dead. And we couldn't bring you this information without your support on Patreon. And we'd like to thank all of those who have already contributed and encourage anyone listening to this video right now to consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/LouisianaDread. For more Louisiana history, horror, folklore, and culture, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Kyle Crosby, and this is Louisiana Dread.